savor every moment. My pops would always say to me, like, this moment is going to be here and then it's going to be gone. You're going to blink your eyes, and this thing that you're stressed out about, this thing that is weighing heavy on you, this thing that you're tired about, or this moment that you're tired in is going to be gone, and it's just going to be a memory. So savor every minute, son. Savor every single second and moment that you possibly can. Well, 4 a.m. came very early the other morning. The reason why, because my son, Maddox, wanted to go to the football game, and we went to the Carlsbad High School football game, and, we were there a little bit later. I was kind of tired. I got home. When I got home, I didn't go right to bed, kind of stayed up a little bit. And then 4 o'clock in the morning came super, super, super early, especially because I had just flown to Atlanta the week before, and also to Salt Lake, and spent a little bit of time in Park City that week also. So there's just been a lot of things happening. So 4 a.m., I definitely hit the snooze button a couple of times. And we were supposed to leave by 5 a.m. And, my daughter and I get out. We get in the van that we had rented. It's a 15-passenger van. And at 5 o'clock in the morning, I was lively because it was something that I absolutely love to do. It's a thing called D-Task, which is a theater competition that's up in L.A., and we had to be to the school by 5:30, so leave the house by 5 o'clock. And then we had to drive 2.5 hours. And when I say we had to, I got the opportunity to. And so we had 14 girls age, anywhere from 14 to 16 years old in the van, and they're just having fun, talking it up and everything like that. And here I am, we're driving. I'm so excited. And then when we get there, there was some, waiting. There was some times in between, and, I started to get a little tired. And before I knew it, 9 o'clock happened. 9 p.m. and we're getting back in the van. I was like, oh my gosh, it's almost as if my eyes blinked. Although there was times where I was waiting and saying that, oh my gosh, is this thing ever going to be over? But then when it was over, it was like the blink of an eye. And if you have children, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They'll be in kindergarten, you blink your eye, they'll be graduating from high school. Well, people would always tell me this, but I would say, yeah, whatever. But I'm wrapped up in the things that are happening right now. And there's so much, either pressure or, stress or all these things. But what I kept hearing was my dad's voice over and over and over again. Savor the moment, because it'll be here and then it'll be gone. And in Proverbs 19, it just kind of walks us right through that. It just helps us to realize how important right now is, and to sit in this point. And no matter if there's a little bit of pain, uncomfortable, all those things, just to make sure that you know that right now is going to be here and then it's going to be gone. And then you're just going to have the memory of it. So savor this moment that is happening right now. So why don't we get this party started?
Nothing more on my mind. I got two shines, so every day I grind. Work in the morning, work in the evening. We's achieving, cause we believing. It's for certain, we put the work in. We ain't stopped just because it's hurting. Right before your eyes, so it's coming to no surprise. The takeover is televised. Over and over and over again. Make no mistake, we continue to win. Defeat never known, cause I will not lose. They wanna mimic my moves, but can't walk in my shoes.
Savor the moment, savor the moment, savor the moment. That experience at D-Task was unreal. And the part that I did not mention was the fact that I got a chance to be able to spend time with my daughter. And it was like at the end of the night, it was 9 o'clock, and we were on our way. We all got back in the van, and we stopped at Taco Bell, stopped at In-N-Out, and there was a little bit of delay. I mean, it took a little bit longer at Taco Bell because there was no one there and they had to do all the orders. It's 13, 14 girls, whatever it is. Then we go to In-N-Out, and during that time, I'm thinking, man, I need to drink some Coke. I need to do whatever, just make sure that I stay awake and stay alert, whatever. But even that delay went just like that. I tell you, please, just savor the moment. Savor every single second that you possibly have. Well, today I messed up because I didn't savor every second. I was a bad dad today, and my daughter had early out, and I didn't communicate with her, and then she had to sit there for like an hour and 20 minutes at school until I came and got her. So, savor the moments, but also understand the moment. I knew at that time my daughter was super upset. She went up to her room, and at first I was like, oh, I should go in and try and talk to her. And I just kind of let her cool down for a little bit. She's still probably mad at me. I've got to become a better dad. So no matter where we're at, savor that moment. Savor the moment that I messed up today. I was a bad dad. I could be a better one. But it's great how Proverbs 19 helps us to realize how important right now is. And just in the way that we react to right now, my buddy Greg Reed told me, he said, they only see what you show them, and you only show them what you want them to see. And, it sounds crazy in that way, but, people only see what you show them. Like if you show them that you're really upset, then they're going to see that part of it. And especially with your kids, my pops was big on this. He told me one time, "Sell it, boy," and I understood what he meant. He meant that it was just about that they were going to react the same way that I reacted. And so stay in this moment, this moment, this moment. Proverbs 19 was quite cool because it talked about in verse 1 and 2, we're continuing on in Inchstones. If this is the first time that you tuned in, I apologize. I didn't even explain it. We go through the corresponding proverb, corresponding day, 3,000-year-old wisdom that can apply to today and be able to give you some things like on your walk. Take a little walk with me, 14, 15 minutes, whatever it is, and we'll, download, give you some soul food, which would be good. And it all comes from the word, which is awesome. So in Proverbs 19, in verse 1 and 2, it talked about right now is a blessing. And I struggle with this a lot because I'm constantly looking forward. If you're an entrepreneur, you're always, you're just about to get the thing done that you planned on, and then bang, you're on to the next one. And this is good in business. This helps us out because we never, sit idle and things like that. But what I do learn from my brother a lot, he's very good at this, is he revels in the now. The blessing, like right now is the blessing. Like right now, this instant, whether you're feeling pain or joy or any of those things, right now is the blessing in verse 1 and 22. In verse 2, 3, 12, 13, 18, and 26, which means that it's pretty important, is desire without knowledge causes challenges. Desire without knowledge. And this goes right into comparison. Sometimes we'll see somebody and we'll say like, oh, wow, that's what I want. But we don't know what it takes to be able to get there. So desire without knowledge can cause a lot of challenges. I've ran into this in my life at times where, I said, hey, man, it would be nice to have that. And then I went and I focused and I went and had that. And I didn't realize all the things that came with it. So make sure that before you desire something, you have knowledge of what it takes to be able to get it, or knowledge of what it takes to be able to maintain it. Sometimes you would kill the desire beforehand, or you just wouldn't desire it. So that's okay. In verse 4, 6, 7, 10, and 15, 17, and 24, which again means this is pretty important. This part, when I was reading through Proverbs 19, was work your land, be a great friend, and guard your heart. Let's talk about work your land. Work your land means that every one of us was built for a purpose, and that purpose is unique to us. And if you just work that land, you'll find that opportunities will come. The land will be fertile. It's unreal what will happen, although I get sidetracked and I look and I compare myself. And point number 2 that we were talking about, which was desire without knowledge causes challenges. I've run into these challenges and I've got outside of my wheelhouse. And every single time that I do, what God just tells me, a little nudge, is work your land. You were built for something, just work your land. And every single person that I see successful in any area of their life is working their land, not trying to work somebody else's. And be a great friend. Being a great friend just means to be kind. Be kind, contribute to people. How would you want your friend to treat you? And also, how do they love to be treated? Well, a person always told me that I would always hear this. The golden rule is treat people the way that you want to be treated. But then a guy came along, his name was Joey Von Bargen, and he said the platinum rule is treat people the way that they want to be treated. And that takes communication. That takes you staying in contact with them and being a friend, staying in contact, figuring out what they love and how they want to be treated, then treating them that way. And then guard your heart. This was a big one, and I say it all the time from my mama. Guard your heart, guard your heart, guard your heart. Because whatever goes into your heart, once it fills up, it'll come out your mouth. When it comes out your mouth, right, it'll cause your mind to start thinking about it and cause your feet and your hands to move towards it. So guard your heart, which will guard your mind, which will guard your words, which will guard your actions. Heart first, mind second, actions third. Right? So just be conscious of that. And that's the way that we build a vibe that's irresistible, right? The vibe, to have a vibe that's irresistible is simply putting our heart set, our mindset, and our skill set in line. It creates an irresistible vibe. What we allow into our heart, what we value, right? Be conscious of it, because the overflow of the heart is the mouth. And once you start speaking about it, you start thinking about it, then you'll start doing it. So be conscious of that. We can't work the backwards that way, because if we lead with our actions, then we think it'll fill up our mind and ultimately fill up our heart. Then we're sadly mistaken. And in verse 5, 9, 29, 30, and 30, it is right now is a good time for the truth. God hit me with this one today, and I was like, oh, it's going to be profound. No, it was just, it's like, it just is. Right now is a good time for the truth. All the time is a good time for the truth. But right now, especially right now, in this moment, is a good time for the truth. Be honest with others, be honest with yourself, and be honest with God. Or you can flip it around. Be honest with God, be honest with yourself, and be honest with others. But right now is a good time for the truth. In verse 8, 11, 16, and 25, wisdom will bring you into the now. Wisdom, which is the right use of knowledge. And where do we get that? From the fear of God. The fear of God just means that we respect him. To respect him, you got to hear his words. You got to see his actions. They're in line. That means that would mean that you respected him. Once you respect him, then he'll give you wisdom, which is the right use of knowledge, right? And if we get wisdom, which is the right use of knowledge, then he'll bring knowledge in, then he'll bring understanding in, then he'll bring insight in, then he'll bring discretion in, then he'll bring discipline in, then he'll bring strength in, which will lead us right back to the fear or respect of God. Wisdom will bring you into the now. Because if you fear God, which is the beginning of wisdom, it'll cause you to have to be right here, right now, because God doesn't work on a pattern or a routine or a ritual or a religion. He works in relationship, and relationship is constantly evolving. So wisdom will bring you into the now. In verse 14 and 21, his purpose, his will, his plan, his timing. Let me say it again. His purpose, his will, his plan, his timing. How many of you in your head ask yourself this? I do this all the time in my life. I'm like, yes, it's his purpose. Everything happens for a reason. And then when something happens that's outside of exactly what I want it to be, then I'm like, oh, well, let me try and will it into place. So, but what God is saying in this in 14 to 21 is what he was saying is all of it. It's got to be all four. His purpose, his will, his plan, his timing. Extract any of them and you'll start to have challenges. If you understand that it's his purpose for your life, like his purpose, our purpose in life, that what we were built for is to worship him and to be able to praise him. And so when we turn and we ask like, okay, cool, like I am going to have a relationship with you. What do you want me to do today? Then he'll help you with that purpose because it's his purpose that he designed for you. It's going to be his will. It's going to be his plan, which is generally different than ours. And then his timing, which is always different than ours, which is frustrating for me. And I tell you guys this all the time. In verse 19 and 20, wisdom fosters patience. Wisdom fosters patience. Now, this is a thing that my wife knows that I'm not good with. My brother knows that I'm not good with this. I force things. I go after things. And sometimes I go after them and I go after them so strong and so, locked in that sometimes I mess things up. And what I want you to realize in this is just wisdom fosters patience. Where do we get wisdom? From the fear of God. So if we fear God and respect God, he fosters that patience in us. And if we seek wisdom, Wisdom will generally give us the answer to every single thing. And it's amazing that way because as opposed to looking at circumstantial answers, if we simply seek wisdom, you'll see things start to change at a different level. Okay, in verse 23, wisdom brings life. It rests content that is untouched by trouble. Watch this. Wisdom brings life, and it brings contentment. It rests in contentment. Wisdom does. And it also helps you to be untouched by trouble. Doesn't mean that circumstances are going to be perfect. Doesn't mean the trouble's not going to come along, but you'll be untouched by it, be around you, but you'll be untouched by it because you'll know that God has a plan for you right now, wherever you're at. In verse 23, it talks about that. And in verse 27, as we wrap up, wisdom is a constant flow and is never stagnant. So it's never a point where we get to this place where we say, I have enough wisdom, I'm good, and then you just move on. No, God is saying, like, come to me every single day, every single moment, every single second of the day. That's where I want you. That's where I would love to be able to have your focus. And it's amazing because wisdom is a constant flow and it never will be stagnant. If you ever have the time where you think it's stagnant, I caution this. I saw this all the time with businesses. They would have placards on the wall and you would ask the person before they could look at the placard, what are the core values of your company? And they couldn't recite them because they didn't own them, because they had become stagnant, because they had just become writing on the wall as opposed to being living, breathing, like a living, breathing organism. That's what a culture is, and it's constantly growing. It's suitable for sustainable growth. That's what a culture is. And so if we want to be able to have that culture, wisdom is constant. The flow is a constant flow, and it never is stagnant. In verse 27. So with all the distractions and complications of life, God is just calling us to focus on him right now, and he will and focus on him now, and you will have the fully present in the moment that will bring blessings in the future, right? Think of this, like with all the distractions and complications of life, God is just calling us. Like all he's calling us to do is not do all this list of things. Now I'm giving you, points of what it was talking about, but it's not saying that you have to do all these things. What's great about it is he wrapped up this whole entire Proverbs saying that you don't have to do all those things. Just focus on me. If you focus on me, I'll bring all the things that I listed off. But if you focus on them, that's where you're going to get into a challenge. And so it blew my mind because as I ran down this whole thing, I was thinking, okay, cool. Now I got the formula. He said, there's no formula to me. There's just spending time with me. See, God is calling us just to focus on him right now, and he will have you fully present in the moment, which will bring blessings in the future. I get wrapped up with this so often because I have so much thought of the future, which he calls us to have, thought of the future, but I get so wrapped up in what I want to happen in the future that I don't lock into what's happening right now. Yesterday was here, and then it was gone. The time at D-Task with my daughter, 5 o'clock in the morning, waking up, it was here, and then it was gone. And I got home at 12 midnight after all the things that we did from 5 in the morning to 12 midnight, but it was a blink of the eye and it was gone. And now it's just a memory. And I encourage you, every one of you, like stop for a second, take a breath and savor every single moment, especially with your kids or with your wife or with your friends, because it'll be here and then it'll be gone. And what God is saying is just, I want you to be fully present. So I just want you to focus on me. Spend time with me right now, and I'll help you to be present to bring blessing in the future. Hopefully you had a phenomenal day. I want to thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Inchstones. Grab the book, The Vibe. The link is in the bio. Grab Bling, which is the #1 shine serum on the planet, moisture, strength, and shine, and it smells like vacation. And the Vibe Room is coming November 9th. Grab your tickets. I want to say thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you click subscribe, that you click the little notification button, and that you leave a comment and share it with all your friends. My name is Kelly Cardenas, and I'm officially off the hot seat. Peace, love, and soul.
Nothing more on my mind. I got to shine, so every day I grind. Work in the morning, work in the evening. We's achieving, cause we believing. It's for certain, we put the work in. We ain't stopped just because it's hurting. Right before your eyes, so it's coming to no surprise. The takeover is televised. Over and over and over again. Make no mistake, we continue to win. Defeat never known, cause I will not lose. They wanna mimic my moves, but can't walk in my shoes.